Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series trying to get you the most MGP every week on a Friday when judging begins for the Fashion Report minigame. This is week 395 and the theme is Ritual Imperial. The individual clues include the last straw for our helm, ritual wrap for our chest, Imperial couture for our gloves, and toward the heavens for our legs. In this video we have a 100 score, an 80 with dies, and the easiest 80 possible. For the 100 then, I went for a straw hat. This is something you can purchase from Gwalter or any other low-level city-state armor vendor, such as Gwalter in the Steppes of Thal for 226 gil, as you can see on screen. You can also craft this with Weaver. Alternatives include the Stablemaid's hat, the Stable Hand's hat, the Spring Straw hat, and I believe the variations of the Straw Capeline will also work, all of these Weaver crafts. For our chest piece specifically, I went for the Phaliax chest wrap of casting. This is something you can get from the Wolf's Den Pier with wolf marks. Specifically, you need 2,000 wolf marks, which you can obtain from doing any PvP. You can find this on the Disciple of Magic gear tab for the 12 gear tab. This will cost you, like I say, 2,000 wolf marks. Alternatively, you could go for the Phaliax chest wrap of healing as well. But of course, I would recommend one of these two, either healing or casting this week. For the gloves then, I went for the Imperial gloves of casting. This can be obtained from the Tower of Babel, which obviously is the second dungeon introduced into the Endwalker expansion. You can get this from the second boss, Lugay, or just before him, there's two treasure chests. The first of a treasure chest, just off of the elevator, will actually give you a chance at getting the gloves. The second chest actually just gives you chest pieces and stuff, so don't worry too much about that. But Lugay themselves is a fairly easy boss to unsynchronize, go in there higher level than the level requirement, and you can get these pretty easily. Hopefully, RNG be with you. Alternatives include every other Imperial type of gloves, but for this reason of the chest piece, we're going for either healing or casting, depending on which you get. And then finally, for our legs, I went for the normal version of the Caller's Loincloth. You can get these from Yolaine in the Forgotten Night, which is in the Foundation of Ishgard. If you go over there, you can buy from Yolaine for 120 Centurio seals the specific loincloth that I'm using here for Summoner. Alternatives include any of the other level 60 leg pieces, so the Creed Cuirass, the Chaos Flanchard, etc. Any of those will work, but again, we're trying to build towards a 100, so I'm trying to match to the limited items, which is of course either healing or casting chest piece. In total then, that's our 100 score, which isn't too bad, but there's a lot of running around, so let's make it nice and easy. Let's move on to the dies first then, which as you can see, they're not very easy actually. Any weapon in the game neon pink, any helm in the game pumpkin orange, any chest in the game curl yellow. We've got jet black die on any gloves and legs in the game, and finally pearl white die on any feet in the game. This is not especially useful for anybody that wants to not spend gil on this or time, so let's move on to the easiest 80 possible, which is accessible to your free trial players. First of all, we've got ourselves the straw hat. Again, vendor purchase, Gwalter, Steppes of Thal, 226 gil, and then we're going to combine that with a bark brown die on that helm. Then we're going to equip any chest piece in the game that's dyeable and dye that bone white. Bone white, of course, purchasable from low-level city-state dye merchants such as Nanabe in Uldar, or of course the Kasumi NPC if you've unlocked that in the Gold Saucer. And then we're also going to get any gloves in the game soot black dye and any legs in the game soot black dye. If you have those dye combinations and that helm, you will get there no problem at all. Another way of doing this would be to combine any two items from the 100 score. So this includes obviously having the level 60 legs, for example, the antiquated or original Caller's Loincloth in my case, combining that with the straw hat. You know, that's two vendor purchased items. Yeah, it can be done that way. But the easiest way is probably to combine dyes and that straw hat, like we say. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.